Chapter 4. Lines in the dirt the sun hung low over the Jacks homestead. Its light filtered through a haze of smoke from Chillicothe's distant fires. Grandma Jack stood by the farmhouse, her silver hair tied back, her hand steady as she sharpened machete on a whetstone. At 73, she carried the weight of decades, nursing soldiers in Vietnam, loving a broken tunnel rat, building this 100-acre haven with him since the 80s. The EMP had torn the world apart, but she'd seen worse. She'd stitched men together under gunfire. She'd hold her family together now. The homestead buzzed with purpose. Jimmy and Jenny were at the stream, checking the hydropower turbine that kept their bunker alive. Grandpa was in the woods, setting more of his Vietnam-inspired traps, snares, and pits to slow invaders. Grandma's job was the barricades, reinforcing perimeter with logs, scrap metal, and anything that could stop a bullet or a boot. Her 9mm pistol rested on her hip, a familiar weight from the days she carried it to protect her patients. She paused, wiping sweat from her brow, and surveyed the land. The fields of corn and soybeans stood tall, the orchards heavy with fruit, the stream glinting like a promise. Windmills and solar panels, now dead from the EMP, loomed as relics of a lost world. The bunker, 40 feet below, held their future, food, water, medicine, but it was this soil, this home, that held her heart. A shout from the eastern fence snapped her attention. Jenny's voice, sharp but controlled. "Grandma, someone's coming." Grandma grabbed her machete and pistol, moving faster than her years suggested. She reached the fence line, where Jenny stood with a knife in hand, her botanist satchel slung across her chest. Jimmy was beside her, crossbow raised, his eyes locked on the dirt road. A lone figure approached, a man, staggering, his clothes torn and face smudged with ash. "It's Tom Harper," Jenny said, her voice low, from the farm down the road. Grandma's grip tightened on her pistol. Tom was a neighbor, a decent man who traded eggs for their apples last summer. But decency meant little when hunger ruled. "Stay sharp," she said. "Desperate men do desperate things." Jimmy nodded, his stance steady. "I'll handle it." Tom stopped 20 yards from the fence, his hands raised. He was in his 50s, wiry, with a beard streaked with soot. "Jimmy, Mrs. Jacks," he called, his voice hoarse. "It's me, Tom. I need help." Jimmy kept his crossbow trained. "What's going on, Tom? Why were you here?" Tom's eyes darted, wild with fear. Chillicothe's gone. Fires, looters, some gang taking over. They hit my place last night, took my chickens, my tools. My wife's hurt, needs a doctor. Please, you got supplies, I know you do. Grandma's nurse's instincts flared, but she tempered them with caution. She'd seen this in war. Pleas for help masking traps. "How bad's your wife?" she asked, stepping forward but keeping the fence between them. "Bad," Tom said, his voice breaking. "Cut on her leg, bleeding something fierce. I ain't got nothing to clean it with." Jenny glanced at Grandma, her face torn. "We could give him bandages, some antiseptic. I've got Yarrow in my kit." Grandma shook her head slightly. "Not yet. We don't know who's watching." Jimmy lowered his crossbow a fraction. "Tom, we're sorry about your wife. But you know how it is. We can't open the gate. Not now." Tom's face crumpled, but his eyes flicked to the woods, a movement so quick Grandma almost missed it. "Here, gut twisted." He wasn't alone. "Jimmy," she said softly, her hand on her pistol. "He's got company." Before Jimmy could respond, a low rumble broke the silence, the same engine sound Grandpa had heard that morning. It was closer now, a guttural roar from the eastern road. Dust rose in the distance, and Tom's panic shifted to something else, guilt. "They made me," Tom stammered, backing away. "Said they'd kill my wife if I didn't bring him here. I'm sorry. Down." Grandma barked, dropping to a crouch behind the barricade. Jimmy and Jenny followed, weapons ready. Tom bolted for the woods, disappearing as the rumble grew louder. A pickup truck rounded the bend, its paint chipped but engine roaring, a rare survivor of the EMP, likely shielded in a garage. 4 men rode in the bed, armed with rifles and crowbars, their faces hard. The driver, a bald man with a scar across his cheek, matched the boss Grandpa had seen in Chillicothe. This was no random raid. This was organized. "Grandpa's still in the woods," Jenny whispered, her knife gleaming. "We need to warn him." "No time," Grandma said, her voice calm but cold. "We hold the line here. Jimmy, take the left flank. Jenny, stay with me. Aim for the tires if it comes to it." Jimmy nodded, slipping behind a stack of logs. Grandma and Jenny crouched behind a steel panel, the barricade solid but untested. The truck slowed, stopping 50 yards out. The bald man boss stepped out, a shotgun slung over his shoulder. He raised a hand, signaling his men to hold. "Folks," boss called, his voice smooth but laced with menace. "Name's Carter. Heard you got a nice setup here. Food, water, maybe some guns. We're just looking to trade." Grandma's lips pressed in. Carter. The name stuck, a warning. She stood, pistol raised and not aimed, her nurse's poise masking her steel. "We don't trade with strangers," she said. "Turn around, Mr. Carter. This land's ours." Carter grinned, his scar twisting. "Heard that before. But see, things changed. Power's gone. City's gone. You can't hold this place alone. Share and we'll be friends. Fight and we'll take it all." Jenny's hand tightened on her knife, but Grandma shot her a look. Stay calm. She knew men like Carter from Vietnam, predators who thrived on chaos. Reasoning wouldn't work, but buying time might. "We're not alone," Grandma said, "and you're not the first to try. Leave now or you'll regret it." Carter's grin faded, his eyes scanning the barricades. "That so? Well, let's—" A scream cut him off. One of his men stumbled from the woods, clutching his leg, blood seeping through his pants. Grandpa's trap, a hidden pit with sharpened stakes, had found its mark. The others spun, rifles up, as Grandpa's rifle cracked from the trees. A second man dropped, clutching his shoulder. "Ambush!" Carter roared, diving behind the truck. His men fired wildly into the woods, bullets chewing bark. Grandma seized a moment. "Jenny, now!" She aimed her pistol at the truck's front tire, firing twice. The tire blew, the truck lurching. Jenny threw a rock, crude but effective, smashing the windshield. Jimmy fired his crossbow, a bolt grazing Carter's arm. The gang faltered, caught between Grandpa's sniper fire and the barricade's defense. Carter cursed, dragging his wounded men back to the truck. "This ain't over," he shouted, climbing into the cab. The engine roared, and the truck limped away, its blown tire thumping. Grandma lowered her pistol, her heart pounding but her hand steady. Jimmy emerged, reloading his crossbow. "They'll be back," he said, echoing Grandpa's warning from last night. Jenny nodded, her face pale but resolute. "That was Carter. He's the one from Chillicothe, isn't it?" Before Grandma could answer, Grandpa strode in the woods, his rifle still warm. "Damn right," he said, his journal tucked under his arm. "That's the bald bastard I saw. Calls himself Carter. Got a gang, maybe 20 strong. We bloodied them, but they know we're here now." Grandma holstered her pistol, her mind already on the next steps. "We need more traps, more barricades. And we need to talk about Tom Harper. If he's with them, others might be too." Jimmy's jaw tightened. He said they took his wife. Could be they're forcing folks to scout for him. Or he's lying, Grandpa said, spitting into the dirt. "Don't matter. We trust no one outside this family." Jenny looked at Grandma, her eyes pleading. "If his wife's hurt, we could help. We got supplies." Grandma's heart ached, her nurse's oath clashing with survival's cold math. She'd saved lives in worse conditions, but opening their gates now could doom them. "We'll discuss it," she said. "But first we secure this place. Night's coming, and Carter's not done." They returned to the farmhouse, the homestead's peace shattered. Grandma glanced at the stream, its turbine still turning, then at the bunker's hidden entrance. The Jacks family had drawn their line in the dirt, but the cost was rising. As the sun dipped below the hills, the rumble of Carter's truck faded, replaced by a new sound, faint but chilling, a woman's scream, echoing from the woods.